Hello guys, welcome to my video. Let's talk today about this camera. This is Amcrest Turret camera. It's an IP camera with 5 megapixels of resolution, and also it's a PoE camera, okay, which stands for Power over Ethernet. Here's the model. It's the IP5M-T1227EW-AI. It's a mouthful one. It's a big name. Amcrest always uses long names like this. And the camera has AI, night color, human detection, perimeter protection, vehicle detection, built-in mic, and also you can record on SD card into the cloud and also on your computer, your NVR, and install outdoors with IP67 protection, which means it can stay into the rain and also sun and doesn't damage the camera. It works pretty good. You see, it's a nice camera. It has here some LEDs so you can see during the night with color or without color with the infrared, right? So let's show here. Let me show here in the camera. So that's the camera. It's a turret camera, which means you can move the lens like this. It's different from a dome camera. A dome camera usually has an acrylic bubble that you need to remove to move the lens. That's not the case for this one. You can just move the lens directly here and you can put on the position that you want. Okay, and it's ready to go. Start recording. Here you see some LEDs that illuminates during the night. Okay, so you have the camera with night color or with infrared light, so you can see into the dark. Pretty good. See here the feature. Let me just show you here with night color. Okay, so night vision with color. Pretty good from this camera as well. Okay, and also the camera works with WDR during the day. If you have light contrast with sun, with dark areas, for example, you can see with WDR. Let me just show you here. It has wide dynamic range with 120 dBs, okay, which means it's good because when you have cameras, let's say with 80 dBs with WDR, and then you have cameras with 100 and 120, it's even better. Higher the number, better the camera, the WDR, okay? So WDR compensates for areas. Let's say, for example, you have a bright area and a dark area. The camera can compensate for that. You can see a better image by this compensation, right? And also it comes with this lens with 2.8 millimeter, which means it's a wide angle lens. You can see a large area, right? And here's something very important also is the compression. As you can see here, it has 8-65 compressor, okay, which means it can compress the video a lot. Here inside of the camera you have the SD card. So the camera captures the video and records here into the SD card, and with higher compression you can record for more days, or you can save space here on your SD card, also on your computer or the NVR. So 8-65, it's a very good compressor. Okay, it works pretty well, right? And this camera also works with motion detection, as you can see here, smart motion detection and perimeter detection, which means you can record only when there's motion. It's easier to search later because when you're searching, you can search for moments there are motion or somebody enters into a perimeter, so it's pretty easy like that. Okay, so pretty good. Okay, so let's take a look now at my computer so you can see this camera working, the image and all the features. Okay guys, so now it's time to take a look at the image of the camera. As you can see, I have it open here on the Amcrest Surveillance Pro. That's the software that connects to the camera so you can see it. And you can also record, because here I have this module, the PC NVR, that records the image from the cameras, right? So basically that's the video that you see from this camera, okay, the 5 megapixel camera. And it's a good quality, as you can see here. In general, good quality, but I can't have a better image yet. Let me just bring here the web browser, because you can also access the camera via web browser. As you can see, I just typed the address here at the top and I see via web browser because it's connected to my router, right? And here I can go to the setup and there's a lot of configuration here for the camera. What I usually do is to use a web browser and the software at the same time, so I can change things here on the browser and I can see live on the camera. Something very good is the light compensation that I was talking about before, WDR, for example. So here And you can take a look on the options that you have. Let's say, for example, BLC mode. BLC stands for backlight compensation. As you can see here, it's off right now. So that's the original image from the camera. And you can see some dark areas here. Okay, and also bright areas like the sky, because there's a sunlight here and there's this bright sky. So let me just use, for example, here BLC mode and change to BLC. And here you see that the image changes a little bit, right? I still have a bright sky here. I can't see details, but on here on BLC, I can work like this, for example, right? I can have the image here customized. I see this square. Let me put the square just right here. And you see that image improves here. I see better on this area. Okay. Much better now. But look at the sky here. It's too bright, right? That's the BLC technology, but I can change to something better that I like a lot. That's the WDR. Remember that the camera has 120 dB of WDR. So when I select WDR here, look at the difference. Now I can see here better because now it's brighter here. And look at the sky. The sky now is not that bright, and I can see the details here, and I can also improve a little bit more. Let me just change here to 100%. So you see the image change a little bit more, and now I see details here on this area that was dark before, and I also see the sky. So it's compensating like for bright areas and dark areas. Let me just turn it off again so you can see the difference. Here we go. I can't see details here, and I can't see details here because here is too bright and here is too dark. With WDR, I can fix that easily. So this camera has this feature that's very good, wide dynamic range, right? So that's the overall image from the camera. Very good. You have also a lot of other features here like white balance, exposure. You can change exposure from the camera. Day night, you can change the profile of the camera for day and night, see in the dark. Light settings, you can turn on and off the alarm, okay? The light, sorry. And have defog. When you see like some scenes that have fogs, you can defog the image. So it's pretty good. So I have a lot of configuration here for video as well, for mainstream. So you have mainstream coming from the camera, and you have a second stream. Let's say, for example, you're on a see from a cell phone. You see with low resolution, with low frame rate, so you use less bandwidth here. And this you can use for recording. You record into your NVR or SD card with higher resolution, better quality, constant bit rate. And here variable, for example, you can change here to variable bit rate, so it uses less bandwidth, right? So basically this mainstream and substream. You can also set up audio, record audio with the camera, and the regular configuration with network, TCP IP, all the camera's IP, connection type. It has ONVIF, very good. This protocol allows you to connect your camera with different recorders and record this Amcrest camera in a different system, right? The DNS, so you can access your camera via the internet using a name or an address, right? So you don't need to memorize IP addresses, things like that. And also IP filter, so you can connect to your camera, avoid somebody else connect to your camera. SMTP to send emails in case there is a detection, motion detection, or some event. You can send emails as well. UPnP to work with your router automatically, works pretty good. Secure HTTP or HTTPS, right? Events, so you can have video detections and smart motion detection, audio, smart plan, IVS, a lot of different types of events, right? You can set up in this camera. Also, you can set up the storage, so you can record, let's say, for example, in different days by motion or regular recording, alarms, so you can select later, export your video easily because you can just select the event that you want to export. And here, destination, you can have SD card, NAS, the network server that you can record your video to, and FTP, you can upload FTP videos to the FTP site, right? Also pictures to the FTP site. Record control can overwrite when the disk is full, stop. That's for the SD card, right? When the SD card is full, for example, and can also have cloud storage, so you can record locally and also to the cloud, which is very, very important. So you're not going to lose your video, right? And other configuration system like language, date and time, and you can manage the users that connect to the camera. Make the camera come back to the factory default settings, import and export the configuration, auto maintenance, manual reboot, upgrade the camera, and things like that, right? So pretty good. You can also play back from here. So if you have image recording to the SD card, you can play back from here. And if you have, let's say, for example, here, I see image from the SD card directly into the camera, and you can also use the software. Okay, so you can play back from the software, because here in the software, back to it, you have the NVR as well. I have a module running here on my computer with the NVR, and I can play back the cameras. Notice that I have the image back to the old configuration, so I don't have the good sky. I can change that again to use WDR. It's much, much better, right? And here with PC NVR, you can come here to playback, for example, and you can select videos from your NVR. That's my recorder. I'm recording this PC right now, but I can also record into a different device, an NVR or something like that. And later I can play back the recording video. I can just search here and play back. I don't have anything right now because I just testing the camera. Let me see if I have something here on the card. No, I have no record right now, but I can select here if I want to. Let me see if I have something for today. Today is the 19th, May 19th. Here we go. Let me just search. Select here and search. Let me select everything here and search. Here we go. I have some recording here. Okay. Yeah. I have recording for today. So that's the image from the camera that I was testing and record earlier today. And it's worked pretty good. As you can see, it's a very good image. Here I'm already recording with WDR enabled. You see the sky, you see the details here. So it's worked pretty good.